I want to thank everybody for being here, and I certainly want to thank Kelly for being here, and I know how difficult it is for her. And I also want to say thank you for Mr. Zimmerman to be here, and I know how difficult it is for him. Kelly and I had an opportunity to talk a little bit last night, and then this morning Mr. Zimmerman and Kelly and I were able to talk. I know how difficult this is for them. And I know that all I can say is it takes a lot of courage for her to come here and to talk about, why she is supporting Senator Lautenberg's legislation and my legislation to ban the large capacity magazines. Paul Helmke has been certainly a force on pulling everything together. Senator Lautenberg was working on this issue way before I ever came to Congress.
It's almost before you were born.
Not quite. I'm catching up to you, sir. But when Kelly and I were talking, and you've heard me say this many times, when we go through seeing a shooting, as we saw in Arizona, for the victims, it brings us back to that moment, which is extremely painful. So everything that Kelly is going through right now, I have lived over and over and over again. And I know how difficult it is from someone coming outside of, quote, this world to come and speak. And I remember that there'll be others that will say, oh, you're going on the emotional feelings. You're damn right we are. We are, because the pain doesn't go away. As far as I'm concerned, Kelly is the living proof. And Mr. Zimmerman is the living proof. That gun violence just doesn't affect those that have been killed and those that have been wounded. We have, unfortunately, in this country, thousands and thousands that go through this every single day. I keep praying that one day I'm not going to have to stand here with a victim. I keep praying one day we will not have to address gun violence in this country. But I certainly will work with Kelly and work with Mr. Zimmerman to try to bring some sense to what happened to their loved ones. You've heard me say this before. The day of the shooting, I happened to be home. And as the day went forward and the news came out, and I saw this scenario going, almost exactly what happened to my family and to families on the Long Island Railroad. So I do know exactly what Kelly is going through. But I also know that Kelly's a nurse. And I will say nurses are tough. And we can do a lot. And we can smile when we have to smile. And we'll cry when we have to cry. And I know that Kelly is taking this first step to be an activist. And that is a very, very hard step. Because she's walking into a world that people will question, why is she doing this? And people will say, would you have gotten involved in something if her fiancé Gabe hadn't been murdered? I can't speak for her. I can say, I've answered that question 100 times. No, I probably wouldn't have gotten involved. I had a good life. I had a loving family. I had plans for the future. This is what all victims go through. So we've been working with Senator Lautenberg and the Brady Campaign, and they are certainly a critical part of what we're trying to do. We have gone forward since the first introduction of our bill. We now have in the House 107 co-sponsors. We have 63 members of the Major Cities Chiefs Association. We have 1,200 members from the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And these are from red states, blue states. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had Jim and Sarah Brady here to also support our legislation. We have a petition online so that for those Americans across the country, so they know what they can do to help. It's www.supporthr308.com. We can have regular people and gun owners and NRA members sign on saying, we want Washington to do something. I just want to say that take a good look at Kelly and I. Really, take a good look at the two of us. I'm certainly old enough to be her mom. But when you go home, really take a look at your family. Take a look at your children. Look at your friends and your neighbors. At any one time, within a few seconds, life could change. Life could change forever. We are taking common sense measures. We are trying to ban large magazines. We are trying to make sure everyone goes through background checks. I believe with all my heart and soul that we can save lives and prevent injuries without anyone's right to bear arms. This is not a partisan issue. A bullet does not know if you're a Republican or a Democrat. They don't know what color your skin is. They don't know what your religion is. They don't know your class, and they don't know your age. Any one of us, any day, can become a victim of gun violence. I'm proof of that. Kelly is proof of that. Mr. Zimmerman is proof of that. And for the 10,000 Americans that are murdered every single year with a gun every single year are proof of that. I am asking the public again to help us. Sign our petition, www.hr308.com. Talk to your friends. Use the email. Let us be the voice of all the victims in this country. Let us be the voice to the gun owners out there that believe in what we're doing. I ask you for your help. We'll do the hard work. We need the American people to be out there with us also. Don't let your voices be drowned out, as it has in the past. We can make a difference. We will make a difference. And let's come together as Americans and say we're sick of these killings. Thank you.
On January 8th, a man that was armed with a semi-automatic handgun, equipped with a magazine that held 30 bullets, shot 19 people. 6 of those people died, including my fiancé, Gabe Zimmerman. Gabe was the community outreach director for Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, who was the target of the attack. Gabe was a great man. There are many reasons I love Gabe. He was smart, funny, and outgoing. But what really drew me to him was that he knew what was important in life. He spoke with his parents, Emily and Ross, daily. He had a little brother that he adored. He made sure to tell me every day that he loved me. He made time in life for board games, learning, volunteering, and running. He was fiercely protective of his friends and colleagues, stepping in without hesitation or thought to bear the brunt of inappropriate words or actions. He died this way also, trying to protect his colleagues and others from a troubled individual who effortlessly and legally purchased magazines that allowed him to gun down so many people so quickly. The man who killed Gabe and 5 others shot 31 bullets in 15 seconds, roughly 2 shots every second. He stopped only when his high-capacity magazine was empty. He had 2 other high-capacity magazines with him that day. He was clearly planning on killing many more people. But thankfully, 2 brave people tackled the gunman, and a fearless woman wrestled away one of the high-capacity magazines he was trying to load into his gun. Those people saved a lot of lives. I do not own a gun, but I respect every American's constitutional right to have a gun. However, every constitutional right comes with responsibility. It is entirely reasonable to limit gun magazines to 10 bullets, as Representative McCarthy and Senator Lautenberg are proposing. 10 bullets are more than enough for self-defense, which is why many people own a handgun. Extended magazines currently are easily accessible for troubled individuals who want to commit mass murder. And that is what happened on January 8th, and that is how Gabe was killed. This type of tragedy cannot be allowed to happen again. Please support Congresswoman McCarthy and Senator Lautenberg on banning these extended magazines so that another community doesn't have to go through what Tucson went through.